Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Theresa sighed as she took a sip of water at her apartment. Theresa pleaded, "Please tell me this was all just a bad dream." Braddy said, "There you are. Hey, you with me now? I wish I wasn't," Theresa remarked while stroking her hair. Weary, Theresa wondered out loud why, after all these years of sobriety, she had messed up. "I've disappointed everyone," Theresa muttered. Braddy reassured Theresa that she was being judged by nobody. "I don't deserve either of you. I don't deserve anyone's love or respect," stated Theresa. Braddy was adamantly opposed. "You've worked very hard. You've made amends. You struggled to become a better person. I've seen that. You're doing fine," Braddy stated. Theresa shook her head and pointed out that she hadn't been discussing the past. Braddy prodded Theresa to speak with him out of concern. "I've tried to change, but I've just been a failure. I've done some really horrible things," said Theresa. Theresa recalled the time she and Konstantin had conspired to have Alex become the Kyriakis heir. Theresa said, "You need to know that I'm a bad person." Braddy's face lit up with concern, and he inquired as to her meaning. Theresa said, "I shouldn't have said anything." "Yes, but you did as well," Braddy shot back. Theresa replied, glancing at Braddy, "She's a failure." This was one slip. "One. You're going to be okay," Braddy replied. Theresa gasped as Braddy said that Tate would be oak. Theresa pleaded, "Please don't tell Tate." "I won't. I don't see any reason or need to tell him," Braddy replied. Theresa thanked Braddy, relieved. Theresa claimed she wanted to go to bed as she sat next to Braddy on the couch, exhausted. Braddy suggested that Theresa stay up and sip water. Theresa laid her head on Brady's shoulder and obeyed. Theresa said, "I'm sorry Alex called you." "I'm not," Braddy shot back. Braddy disagreed and termed it an imposition, Theresa. "With it, I want to be here for you," Braddy spoke. Brady's hand was grabbed by Theresa, who stated, "I'm really glad you are." Theresa then took a few swallows of water and mentioned that in spite of their issues, they had had some wonderful times together. "We did," Braddy concurred. Theresa was amazed that Braddy was still being a good friend to her in spite of everything. Theresa remarked, "I appreciate you being my friend, Braddy." Theresa kissed Braddy after meeting his eyes. When Alex got home, she noticed the kiss. Steve ran into Konstantin outside the Braddy pub. Konstantin grinned and asked Steve if he would rather ship him back to area, his home, or come have coffee with him. Steve whispered, "Now that you're talking." Steve had lied, according to Konstantin, about knowing area. "What difference does it make if I ever set foot in your godforsaken hometown?" Steve responded. Konstantin laughed. "The real question is, why so secretive about it? Why don't you want me to know that you had been in area?" Konstantin responded. "I don't know what you're talking about, and I'm really not interested," Steve replied. Steve turned to depart, telling Konstantin to pack and get out of town. Konstantin inquired, "Have you ever heard of the pawn?" Steve came to a halt. Steve remarked, "I have no idea what you're talking about." "Stefan had won a pawn in a game," Konstantin claimed. "I know little more than this, but I am aware that this pawn was a man of mystery who played an important role in Victor's life, and, by extension, in mine," Konstantin replied. Steve maintained that Konstantin was nonsensical. "Perhaps the pawn's identity is known by many. It is certainly known to you. Victor's former employee, the man with the patch," Konstantin said. Steve was concerned and questioned Konstantin about his intense desire to find out who the pawn was. The words, "I will never forget those eyes," came from Konstantin. Steve, clearly frustrated, said he could not assist Konstantin. After grabbing Steve, Konstantin insisted on knowing who the pawn was. Steve screamed back, "There's nothing to tell." Konstantin retorted, "You are hiding something?" Annoyed, Steve reminded Konstantin that Konstantin was the one that had arrived in Salem with nothing but lies for Maddie. The Constantine cried out, "Tell me." Steve seized Constantine's collar. Steve shouted, "You push me too far, old man." Maggie questioned, "What is going on here?" as she approached. Kate sat by Lucas's bedside in the prison infirmary. Harris burst into the room and gasped at seeing Lucas's face slashed. "Oh my God," Harris muttered to himself. "This is your fault, okay? You told him that you would protect him, but it was just a ploy to get him to do what you wanted him to do." "You never gave a damn about my son, you bastard," Kate said. Harris expressed regret. "I just talked to the warden. He assured me that the guards were instructed to watch out for Lucas." "I'm sure you talked to him too," stated Harris. Kate became irate and said, "I didn't because I trusted you. Something I will never do again." Lucas awoke and implored her to calm down. Harris inquired about Lucas's situation. Lucas shook his head, noting that he hadn't been able to identify his attackers because they had attacked him from behind. Harris inquired, "Did they say anything?" Lucas complained, "There are a lot of things I can't say in front of my mother." The main point, Lucas clarified, was that he had questioned the wrong individuals too much. According to Harris, "Who did you talk to?" A handful of the employees were named by Lucas. "I thought I could trust them, but I guess I was wrong," Lucas stated. Harris claimed he thought they'd proven there was a corrupt police officer in the Salem Police Department. Kate asked, "What? Why didn't you tell us?" "Because we didn't suspect it until recently, and we do not know for sure. It's just a hunch. But it's one we are taking very seriously," Harris stated. Kate contended that because Harris had given her the assurance that Lucas would be safe in the prison, she had thought the payoff for Lucas had been worth the risk. "But clearly you were either lying or you made a misguided assumption, because my son is still here with a target on his back," Kate replied. Kate insisted Harris make arrangements for Lucas's release. Harris responded, "Let me make a call," and then he slipped out of the room. Lucas questioned, "Think there is anything he can do?" "There better be something he can do, because he got you into this. Now he needs to get you out," Kate said. Harris apologized when he got back. Harris clarified that Lucas had to be able to produce evidence that could be utilized in court before he could be released. Bewildered, Lucas inquired as to why his tips, which resulted in the drug raids, had not been sufficient. "Because the source wasn't reached by the raids," Harris said. Harris pledged to stick with Lucas. Resigning, Lucas shook his head. Kate sighed and informed Harris that although she was happy he had saved her life, she would never forgive him for failing to assist her son. Harris pledged to keep Lucas safe. Harris was informed by a security who had entered the room that he was supposed to speak with someone in the visitor's room. Harris inquired, "Who is it? And how do they know I'm here?" The guard added, "The man just said he needs to talk to you." After Harris left, Kate informed Lucas that she was proud of him. Harris had whispered to Kate and Lucas that he would get Lucas out of prison one way or another. Harris and Clyde met in the visitor's room. "I requested your presence in the hopes that we could have a little chat. You know about current events in Salem. Like what happened to Lucas Horton. That's a damn shame, isn't it?" Clyde replied. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't miss any updates.